Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to the March edition of the Bone Vivant Atelier. Today we're going to do something that's a little springy. We're going to start by marinating some chicken in kefir. Marinating your food in something with some acid, like kefir has acid in it, will make it nice and tender and help infuse all these other flavors. So let's get started. So you want to start out with a pretty large container that can hold all of the liquid that's going to be in there and the chicken. I'm doing this actually for a dinner party, so there's going to be a lot of chicken in here. So you're going to start with your kefir, and all the amounts will be found in the recipe. This is actually my take on Sue Spongeon's recipe. So like I said, the kefir is kind of like a buttermilk as far as the acid in it, but we're going to add some more acid. So we're going to add some lemon juice. These happen to be seedless lemons, which I love them. So we're going to do the juice of a lemon. And the big flavor boost in this is harissa. So if you haven't heard of harissa, it's a paste that has some sun-dried chilies in it. It's so good. It's lovely. It's a very red color. It will also give some color to the chicken. And guess what? I'm out. But this is something that you can have on hand in your fridge, and it will last for quite a bit of time. So we're going to put this in here. I'm going to put in some fresh thyme. So I'm not going to take it off of I'm just going to put in literally like this much. Stick that in there. We're going to do, of course, some diamond crystal salt. And some freshly ground black pepper. I like it lots and lots of pepper, like it very peppery. Very peppery. And then we're going to take the microplane and grate the garlic. One reason I like using grated garlic is it doesn't come out in big chunks. Also, it helps not be so bitter. Sometimes there's like that green, the beginning of a shoot in the garlic, and that can make it a little bitter. Okay, there we go. I'm going to whisk this up and apparently pop the juice up all over the place. And now we're going to add the chicken into the marinade. So I'm doing a mixture. I'm doing some thighs, I'm doing some legs, and I'm doing some breasts. You want bone-in, skin-on chicken. I'm just going to kind of roll it around, make sure it's coated on all sides. I'm going to add the rest of the chicken, and I'm going to stick it in the fridge overnight, and then we'll cook it later. I'll be back. Okay, folks, we are back to do our Rosey harissa chicken. And now we're getting ready to put it in the oven. So this recipe is actually based on a recipe for a whole chicken. But since I'm having a dinner party tonight, and there's going to be 6 of us, I decided instead of doing 2 chickens, to do some pieces. And then if there's leftover chicken, my husband will have to eat it. But what we did here is I cut some shallots in half, and I'm going to lay them down, taking the peels off. And I'm dispersing them around the sheet pan. Then I'm going to take a lemon and I'm going to cut that in half, and using the part that shows the flesh, you want to put that down because we're going to let those lemons roast, and then to finish, we're going to squirt the roasted lemon juice all over the chicken. The next thing is a whole head of garlic. You want to take it and cut it around the equator. And to do that, you kind of like you just hold it very steady and take your knife, and you might have to apply some force because a lot of times that center knob can be hard. And of course, that's what this one is. So we're just going to keep turning the knife around until we get it. If a little bit of the shell comes off of the garlic, that's totally fine. But there we go. Okay. So we're going to take this and we're going to put this face down. Okay. Let's get these lovely pieces out of here. And now I'm going to take the chicken. We're not going to dump the coating off of it. I'm just going to let it kind of drip off. And we're just going to lay that chicken all over this sheet pan. I have my oven preset for 400 degrees. And if you remember from yesterday, this is a mixture of chicken breast, chicken thighs, and drumsticks. Now this chicken will have a little spice to it, but it definitely has that Mediterranean vibe going on. So I'm going to be making an Israeli couscous dish as a side dish and just a green salad. Now that we're getting into March, we're going to get a little bit of softer greens going. Try to make this not more than one level. And do a vinaigrette. And then the couscous has a little bit of Kalamata olives and trying to think what else is in it. There's a like a salsa verde that's going to go in it with capers. And then there's also, well, hello, some broccoli. Let's see, the sheet pan might not be big enough to get it all on here. We want to make sure we spread it out enough so it's not steaming. Yeah, I can get it all in here. There's just 2 more pieces. And then I'm going to take and top this with some fresh thyme. If you remember, thyme was in the marinade or the brining liquid. Okay, so we're going to take some fresh thyme and just put a little bit of thyme on here. And then this is probably what I'll garnish the plate with. Just lay this thyme across the top. And we're going to pop that in the oven. The instructions will be down below in the link on my Substack, but I think I'm going to try it. I haven't done it this way before. I typically do the whole chicken. I think I'm going to put this in for about 30 minutes, pull it out, and then we're going to put the Rosey Harissa on it, which is a beautiful spice blend. So we'll talk about that a little bit when I do it. So stay tuned. So I've already pre-cooked my Israeli couscous, so I'm letting that cool. So while that's cooling, I'm going to make the salad dressing. So this is the greens that I have in here. I have some arugula, I have some butter lettuce, and then I have some red lettuce. You can do whatever combination you find in season. If your farmer's market is open, go see what your farmer's market has. But this salad can be anything, and all it is greens and dressing. It's super simple. So I like to do that. And then if I'm getting ready, like my guests will be here in a couple of hours, I will take a clean kitchen towel and just set it out and put the towel on top of it. That's all I'm going to do. So for this, the shallot is, I'm just going to cut the shallot into a very, very tiny dice. Okay, I took the skin off the shallot and I'm going to cut it in half. And I leave it connected on the top, on the little hairs. And then I like to take the palm of my hand to brace it. And you want to get as small of a dice as you can. So put those cuts very close together. You gotta be careful. I pulled a little bit of it out. And then using the point of your knife, go as close to the edge as you can get it to where that little hairy end is, and just pull your knife back. Now this, you're not being a chef in a Michelin star restaurant. You are not at Cordon Bleu. These do not have to be perfect. You just want them tiny. So just do the best job you can do. And then whoop, it's coming apart a bit. And that's fine. And then you're going to take your knife and go as small as you can this way. So you want as small the pieces as possible. Don't forget to toss that little bit. And if you want to take your knife through and run it through again, go ahead and do that. Slide that over and do the next part. Now you can leave your shallot whole, but I find that it rolls and then I struggle with it. Okay, and then we're going to get this in there. And I'm about ready to cut this piece of my hair off. My bangs are not long enough to tuck, and I'm trying to grow them, and they're driving me insane, so I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to let this cut, or this all go together, and I'm going to kind of do another little rock through, holding your knife with your not biased, what's the word I'm looking, your weaker hand, and let your other hand guide you, and you're just moving basically the end of your chef's knife. Okay, so you got that nice and fine. Then you want to take some kind of strainer, probably not like a colander, because the holes will be too big. And if you don't do this, it's okay. This will just take a little bit of the bite out of the shallot, because I'm just going to rinse it under cold water. So I'm going to just be right back. Right here, cold water. Okay. Now, I like to make my salad dressing. I don't buy dressings. I don't remember the last time I bought a salad dressing. Salad dressing is so simple that to me, it doesn't make sense to buy it. There's all those chemicals in it, and it just doesn't taste as good, in my opinion. So we're going to take these shallots. I know what's happening. I've had to turn the air conditioning on because it's a little warm in here, and that's what's happening, is it's blowing my hair in my face. I'm like, what is going on? Let me just rinse my hands real quick. And I'm going to put a pinch of diamond crystal salt, and I'm just going to put a very, very little bit of sugar. This is organic sugar, so it might look a little brown to you, but that's it. That's maybe a half a teaspoon, if that. And then I am going to add a little bit of pepper. Now, if you want, you can add some garlic, and you would grate it on a microplane. I am avoiding the garlic because I have a lot of garlic in my chicken dish. And so the guests that I'm having, I've never cooked for before, and I don't know if they love garlic. If it was just me and my husband, I probably would put it in. But tonight we're just going to do it sans garlic. And I'm going to take some time, and I'm going to pull off some fresh thyme leaves. Now you can chop these if you want. I'm choosing not to. I like the look of the whole thyme leaves, but you are welcome to do what you need to do. If you don't have any fresh thyme, I don't think I would put dried thyme in this. I think that the texture of it is not worth it. That's just my opinion. You can add anything to this dressing, and this is just a basic dressing. Now, this is the key to this dressing, is you're going to put in about a teaspoon of cold water. Yes, sir. That's it. Just a little bit of water. It helps make it not as acidic. And then we're going to put in, this is aged sherry vinegar. This is probably my biggest go-to for homemade salad dressings. I love the taste of sherry vinegar. And to me, it is just so worth it. So I'm going to shake this up. Get that all mixed. Okay, now I'm going to add the vinegar. I like to do almost half and half, a little more oil than vinegar, but you do what makes you happy. If you want it a lot less vinegary, you can do more oil. But the standard is about a 2-to-1 ratio. This is my Brightland oil. This is the Alive. So this one is specifically for dressings. And I was going to say that there was a bigger description on it, but I can't find it. So I'm probably wrong. Okay. I'm going to take this and shake it. Now, if you were making this for the next day and putting this in the fridge, you'd want to make sure you take this out of your fridge about an hour before you're going to serve it to make sure that the oil gets back to room temp. So I'm just going to take my spoon and give it a taste. I'm actually going to add a little more vinegar. I'm just going to finish the bottle. Why not? Note to self, I need more vinegar. Now, a simple addition to this would be some Dijon mustard, and that will give it a little more body also, but this one I'm just going to go with this plain vinaigrette. I'm going to add a little more salt and a little more pepper. We're almost there. Perfect. So I'm just going to now put this right here with my salad, and I will probably put this dressing on the side. Like I said, this is the first time I'm having this company here. If it was friends I had over all the time, I would know their vibe and what they like, but we're going to do it this way. Okay, one more dish to make, and then I will share with you how we're going to finish the chicken. Be right back. Let's make some salsa verde. So I've already pre-washed this whole lot of parsley. This is going to be about 3 cups, and I'm going to do the soft stems and all. I'm going to put that aside now. We'll use that at another time. Do a couple rough chops on this. Put this in the food processor. I'm going to add in here, I'm going to do all, let's see, I'm going to do all of these scallions because they're small. I have 7 scallions, and I'm going to do all the way up to, I don't love the very dry ends of the scallions, so I'm going to toss those. Now, if you have a freezer and you want to save these things for some stock, go right ahead, stick them in the freezer. I'm just going to do a rough chop on that. I thought I caught it, but I did not. I don't know where it went. And then I'm going to put, I don't like to use whole anchovies if I'm not going to use them all. And that's what anchovy paste is great for. So I'm just going to put about a teaspoon of anchovy paste in here, along with some capers. That's my salty secret. And I'm going to do about a tablespoon, and you just want to make sure you get the brine off of them. That's going to add the saltiness to this. We're just going to pulse this until it gets nice and cut up. We don't want it to be a paste, so we want some texture in that. I'm gonna try to get the lid back on this so I don't accidentally spill it. So for this part, we're gonna use some white wine vinegar, and I'm gonna have this go while I put in about 2 teaspoons. And I'm gonna add in a little bit of salt. And then I'm gonna zest in a lemon. Doesn't want to sit. So this is an organic lemon that I've already washed. We're gonna zest all this lemon. I love lemon zest. It really just can brighten things up in addition to lemon juice. Some people like to do it this way. I can't, I'm not coordinated enough to do it that way. I've been using a zester for, I don't know, 40 years, and I still can't get it right going that way. This way, I'm good. And you just want to make sure you don't get the pith. The pith is that white part, and that can be bitter. So I usually just do like 1, 2, then turn it 1, 2, and then let it rain up in here. All right, so I'm going to add some pepper. Pulse that a bit, and now we're going to add in our olive oil. And I'm going to pulse while I do that. So you want to make it so it's a little bit of liquid, because it is a sauce, and this is what's giving the couscous the sauce. So let me taste this. So good. Oh, that screams spring. And now I'm going to add the lemon juice. These are seedless lemons, so I don't have to worry about seeds. I love them. And I like squeezing the lemon with my hand. If you take it out of the fridge at least an hour before you're going to use it, it generally will work, or you can use tongs. And while I have a lemon juicer, I don't ever use it, to be quite honest. Perfection. Okay. Let me clean this up. I'll be right back. Okay, so I had cooked this Israeli couscous already and rinsed it with cold water to stop it from cooking. Israeli couscous is actually not like the couscous that's super small. This is really round and is prevalent in recipes from that part of the world. And I'm going to take the salsa verde and dump that in here. Look how beautiful that sauce is. We're going to toss this all around. It's just nice and bright green. The flavors are going to be outstanding. And then I already roasted these tomatoes. So in my cookbook, The Vineyard Table, I share about oven roasted tomatoes. They're a great little surprise in a salad or on top of pizza, and they'll hold for a while if you add some olive oil over them. So I'm just going to put that aside. But what I did was I cut some cherry tomatoes in half, put olive oil, salt, and pepper on them, and I baked them for about 50 minutes at, I think it was 300 degrees. All the instructions will be below. Then I'm going to add some Kalamata olives. These happen to be already sliced, or you'll have to slice them. I drained them. So we're going to have some, I'm going to put about half of this jar, and this jar is almost 6 ounces, so about 3 ounces of Kalamata olives. If you want to find another kind of black olive, or even Castello Vetranos would be great in this. And then of course, we talked about the fact. So in February, when I did the pork chops, I talked about the fact that, you know, sometimes living in a small town, you have to get what you can get at the grocery store. And this recipe originally calls for broccolini, which is the skinny broccoli. And of course, my store didn't have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these florets because we're not cooking them. It's raw. So we're not going to do big florets. We're going to cut these into smaller pieces. So you can save this if you have like I said earlier, if you have a stock option, you can store that away. Or some people like to cut it and just eat it raw. You can do that too. Okay, so I'm just going to cut these into smaller pieces, as small as I can get it in there. And if you do this about an hour before you're going to eat it, you'll find that, sorry, my phone was ringing. I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb. You'll find that because of the olive oil and vinegar in this, it kind of has the ceviche effect is what I'll say. So it won't be super raw. It's going to be raw, but it'll be good. Nice and add a little crunch to it. See how small I'm getting these pieces? And the buzzer just rang for the chicken. So we're going to take that out in a second and add the Rosey harissa on top. It's going to be so good. Can you tell spring is coming? Spring's coming, y'all. Time is getting back. Now it's actually going to not daylight savings time. I always forget. In the spring, that's when it's not the way time should be, right? But that's the way we like it. I like it getting darker a little later because it's 5 o'clock right before the time change, and it's getting dark. I wish y'all could smell this chicken. It smells so good. So this is Rosey harissa. This is from New York Shuck, I think is how you pronounce it. It's a Middle Eastern spice blend. I'm trying to find the exact ingredients on this. Chili peppers, paprika, rose petals, spices, garlic, and salt. It's not, I wouldn't call it spicy. It has some zip. We'll say zip, kind of like Aleppo pepper. And we're just going to shake this all over. It is going to give a nice smoky, a little kick to it. And then we're going to put this back in the oven for about 15 more minutes till all these pieces are done. As I always say, cook to temp, not to time. This is available online, but also there is a Rosey harissa available at Curio Spice, which I have in the Substack where this recipe is. There's always my code to get a discount. So I'm going to put this back in the oven and I'll show you the salad. Okay, so this is our Israeli couscous salad. We're going to have this. We're going to serve the salad first, and then as the first course, and then the second course will be the chicken with this Israeli couscous salad. A nice way to start introducing kind of a pasta salad vibe. You can make it ahead, and it will be great the next day. And so we will be back in a few minutes, in about 10 minutes. The rest of that chicken will be done, and I'll show you how to plate it, and it'll be great.